Welcome to the best of high school sports in Northern California. We are the B Prep Show.
And we come to you from Burbank High School in South Sacramento for a small school showcase.
Welcome back for another edition of the B Prep Show. I'm your host, Mike Finnerty, joined as always by my co-host, Joe Davidson, the Sacramento Bee, and we are coming to you from Luther Burbank High School.
Small school showcase here with Capital Christian, one of the superpowers in the Sac Joaquin section, small schools, and West Campus as well. But before we talk about the big football game that we showcased here, you were everywhere. Whatever sport's going on, I think you were there.
Yeah. Volleyball, soccer, girls tennis, we've got it all, Joe, but we're going to start off with football. It's our Les Schwab game of the week. We've got Franklin taking on Grant. We head out to Grant High School for a Delta League showdown. The 3-0 Pacers playing host to the 2-1 Wildcats at Elk Grove. Always a great atmosphere for football at Grant. Getting the scoring start in this one would be the Pacers. Quarterback Donovan Brown finds Arion Huff that for a touchdown, and it's 7-0 Grant. Early second quarter, Franklin down 14-0, but that would change with his Jacob Lopez to Cadero Comadong screen pass. He's going to take it in for the score, cutting the lead to 7. Grant goes to the ground game. It's Deshaun Collins finding a hole, and he's going to take it 69 yards for the score. Collins would finish the night with 143 yards. Later in the half, Grant up 20-14 when Brown goes back to the air and back to Huff. He's going to make a great catch. This one at the 20, and he is gone. That's a 48-yard connection to the house. Pacers go to the break up 26-14. In the second half, just more Grant and more Donovan Brown, who completed 5 of 10 passes for 170 yards to go with 4 touchdowns, with Huff here getting his third TD of the night. Grant goes up 36-14. Watch this playing out. It's Brown scrambling to his left, goes the other way, looks the end zone, and he hits David Mwala. That's a touchdown, perhaps your play of the night. And there were many on this one as the Grant Pacers take it 43-14.
I just feel like we come together as a team. Line stepped up a lot. Defense held them to under 13 points. We ain't got scored over 14 yet. And I just feel like if the ball to the athletes, they'll make the plays for me.
It's like we're an experienced team, but we still have a lot of young kids playing. And you know, tonight they just kind of grew up.
Mike, it's always so much fun in Del Paso Heights for the Grant Pacers. Big win. This is a Grant team that looks big. It's fast, it's physical. Their longtime coach, Mike Albergini, still hasn't been completely healthy, but will be going into the next game this week against Elk Grove. But I was very impressed with Donovan Brown. He loves his position. He's not very big, but he's got a big heart. And Arion Huff's not very big either, but they make plays.
Yeah, they do make plays. They had some guys out, so it shows just how good they are when you can win with starters out. So again, good win for the Pacers. We got small school action now. We've got Capital Christian taking on West Campus. Next up is a small school matchup in the Golden Empire League. They had the 4-0 Capital Christian Cougars taking on the 2-1 West Campus Warriors from Burbank High School, and this one was all Cougars. On its first possession, Capital Christian scores on a 31-yard run by Nick Valdez. That makes it 7-0, but there would be more from Valdez as his number is called one more time, taking it in from 3 yards out. And just 3 minutes into this game, it's 14-0 Cougars. It's quarterback Jacob Norville's turn now. Norville's going to roll right, look to the end zone, and he finds Edward Ware, and it's now a 3-touchdown lead for Capital Christian, still in the first quarter. Second quarter now, much like the first, 2 more touchdowns made it a 34-0 game at the half, and they would go on to close it out with a 54-0 victory, improving to 5-0 on the season.
All right, Mike, a lot of good talent there on the small school level for sure. Capital Christian wants to join the fray of Sac Joaquin section teams that have gone to the State Small School Bowl. Escalon and Central Catholic of Modesto the last 3 or 4 years have won state championships. Might be Capital Christian next.
Could very well be. All right, let's talk about some Division I players of note, Joe. We've got a star out in Folsom, one of many, and we have one in Jesuit. But let's start off with Folsom, Josiah DeGuara.
You know, he's such a good receiver. 16 touchdown catches last year from Jake Browning. He's a nasty blocker now, so even if he's not getting the ball, he's knocking people around.
a big-time running back out of Jesuit, and he got an offer recently.
Yeah, Bo Bisharat's a perfect fullback, tailback name with power and speed. Bo Bisharat of Jesuit. He's so physical and strong. You saw him in the Holy Bowl. He's a guy that is going to bust a lot of chin straps.
Yes, he is. It is now time for the top 20 rankings, Joe. They came out and we got some movement. Of course, Folsom's at the top, but talk about some of the teams that are now in there.
You know, it's nice to get new, fresh blood in there. Antelope has been there in years past. Under Coach Ray, they're back in. Big win against Ponderosa, so that's an early trendsetter there. Del Campo, welcome back. The Cougars, 3-1. And also Bear River, 3-1. We love the coach. Terry Logue, winner of 200 games. His co-coach is Scott Savoy.
Not too bad. All right, Joe, we got more coming up in the show. We have plenty of girls volleyball. We got to see, once again, the #1 team in the area, the El Camino Eagles, as they take on the Pleasant Grove Eagles. We see Rocklin go up against Granite Bay. We've got a whole lot more there. Later in the show, we've got soccer. I catch up with Oak Ridge football player Drew Lukowski, and we got some soccer feature for you, a guy from Natomas.
All right, welcome back to the best of high school sports in Northern California. Strong emphasis here in the Sac Joaquin section, brought to you by our good friends from Save Mart. Mike, a lot of football in the first segment, more football coming up later, including some more big games to look for. Volleyball, always on the brain in this section.
Joe, one of the teams that's been playing really well has been the Pleasant Grove Eagles, but they got a chance to take on the area's best, the El Camino Eagles, and El Camino had something to say about it. The #1 ranked team in the area, the El Camino Eagles, undefeated on the season at 21-0. We're on the road in Elk Grove to take on the #4 Pleasant Grove Eagles with only one loss on the season. How would this go? Well, we'll start with the first set, and it was all El Camino as Mackenzie Reeder Esparza, she puts her Eagles up 15-11. El Camino maintained the advantage before Michaela Nachetti closed out game 1 with a 25-19 win. Second set would go to El Camino as well. Devin Herendez sets up Nachetti for the 25-15 winner. El Camino now up 2-0. El Camino took control in that third set as well, going up 18-10 here. Short time later, Kate Nicknig extends the lead, and when this Pleasant Grove hit went too long, that gave El Camino a 25-17 win and a 3-set sweep. We bring you action in the Sierra Foothill League now, this between the #3 Rocklin Thunder playing at Granite Bay to take on the #7 Grizzlies. Both teams unbeaten in league play heading in. Well, it was just the battle we expected. The first set would go to Granite Bay 25-20 with Brooke Hirschberger getting the honors here. The second set, another throwing back and forth battle. Bridget Bell puts the Grizzlies up 21-20. Moments later, Granite Bay's Amanda Prather finds Hirschberger, who makes it 24-23 Grizz. And then Emily Demure gets this block in the net for a 27-25 Game 2 win. Grizzlies all fired up and now lead the match 2-0. Rocklin didn't go away quietly, taking the third set 25-19, but Granite Bay was just too tough on this night. The Grizzlies take the fourth set 25-20 and get the victory to improve to 15-4 overall, 3-0 in the SFL.
The returning players are definitely kind of bringing that back and trying to regain focus for the season, and our new players are getting adjusted really well, so it's a good transition in this season.
I think we're still learning every single practice how to play next to each other. That's something we didn't really have to worry about as much last year because a lot of girls played together for a long time, so still figuring out how to play next to each other and stuff, and so they're getting better every practice.
We stay in the SFL where the #19 Nevada Union Miners were on the road in El Dorado Hills to take on the #2 Oak Ridge Trojans. Nevada Union played very well in this match and did not make it easy for the Trojans, but Oak Ridge would take the first set 25-22. That good play by the Miners carried over to the second set and would finish with Nevada Union getting a 25-20 win to even the match at 1-all. After that, Oak Ridge took over. Third set, it's Elizabeth Cameron to Marissa Culici, who slams it home for an 8-point lead. And then it's Olivia Reed with a kill from the side. That for a 25-15 Oak Ridge win. Final set now, all Trojans. It's Cameron to Culici again. That's going to make it 15-6 Oak Ridge. How about Cameron Cawley as she puts Oak Ridge up by 11. Later, Reed takes care of business right here for a 25-12 win, taking the match 3-1. Oak Ridge sits atop the SFL standings with Granite Bay, both at 3-0.
I think the team is just overall really positive, and I think it brings a sense of family to the team, and any team that has a sense of family tends to play really well together. So we have a really strong program, stronger than I've seen, and I've been watching Oak Ridge play for a long time. So it's really a fun group of girls and a lot of depth. The whole bench and everything, it's a whole team effort in everything we do.
All right, Mike, these are volleyball teams we're going to be talking about for a long time because these are teams who expect to play well into December, which is section championship, NorCal, and state championship time.
That's right. When we come back, Joe, we're going to have boys soccer, girls tennis. We've got a feature on Natomas Nighthawks forward Baltazar Silva. Don't go away. We'd like to thank our sponsors, starting with Save Mart Supermarkets, where fresh comes first. Shop at Save Mart up and down the Central Valley. Schools Financial Credit Union, banking for everyone, value, convenience, and emerging technology. Von Hausen Automotive Group, celebrating 50 years with Mercedes-Benz. Stop dreaming and start driving. Roseville Auto Mall. If you're looking for a used car, go to the Roseville Auto Mall with over 6,000 vehicles to choose from. And Les Schwab Tires. Since 1952, we promise we'll get you more for your money.
All right, welcome back to the Beat Prep Shows. We bring you the very best in high school sports in Northern California. Strong emphasis right here in our backyard in Sacramento. Brought to you by our good friends from Save Mart. Mike, more football coming up, but right now, the other football.
We've got boys soccer, Joe. We've got the #1 ranked Granite Bay Grizzlies coming into last week anyway, taking on the #4 Christian Brothers Falcons. And what a game for Christian Hepner. On Wednesday, Granite Bay took to its home pitch as the area's new #1 ranked team, and looking to pull off the upset was Christian Brothers, and we saw a good one. Getting on the board first was Christian Brothers. It's Christian Hepner with the goal, his 18th of the season, and it's 1-0 Falcons at the 31st minute, and that would be the score by halftime. Second half now, the scoring picked up. It's Hepner firing away from long distance. That's going to make it 2-0 at the 70th minute, his 19th on the year. Granite Bay hung in there though. Corbin Anderson, he's going to find Hunter Loomis. That's going to cut the lead to 2-1 with 6 minutes to go. The difference in this match proved to be this goal by Lewis Heinzer. That's going to make it 3-1 because Granite Bay would score later with just 2 minutes to go. But in the end, the Falcons would fend off the Grizzlies 3-2, a big win for this team.
Even when we gave up a goal, we continued to battle and continued to put pressure on their team. So very pleased. But like we tell the boys, this is all preseason, and it's nice to get these wins, but we're focused now on our league schedule.
I think this is a great step in the right direction for our team. We came off a tough loss against Jesuit, and from then we just started playing some really good soccer, and a lot of guys started stepping up, and we're starting to play really good soccer. This is a great victory to kick us off into league, and hopefully we can go undefeated in league and head off into playoffs.
All right, how about Christian Hepner? Dominating season last year. He's on another hot streak now for Christian Brothers.
Oh, he's been big time. He leads the section in scoring, so he has been very good, and what a win for them. All right, Joe, we've got girls tennis. It is #1 taking on #2. We'll wrap up our highlights with girls tennis. The area's top two teams, the Oak Ridge Trojans and the Rocklin Thunder. In this match was all Oak Ridge. In the matchup of #1s, how good was Madeline Almeida of Oak Ridge? She needed just 2 sets to beat Navina Atola of Rocklin 6-3, 6-1. In the battle of #2s, Oak Ridge's Tasia Chalamacheria, she was impressive. Had absolutely no problem with Rocklin's and both, winning 6-2 and 6-1. Oak Ridge would win 4 of the 5 singles matches to prevail in the end, 6-3. Oak Ridge still remains as the team to beat in the Sacramento region.
All right, Mike, one of the fun parts about this job is getting to know some of the student athletes, whether it's football.
And listen to the good bands.
That's exactly right, whether it's football, tennis, or whatever. How about soccer?
We got soccer. It's our school's credit union Game On Athlete of the Week, and it is Mr. Baltazar Silva of Natomas. He is the terrific forward for their team that, by the way, is playing very well, and I had a chance to catch up with him. His name is Silva. Baltazar Silva, that is, but he has a nickname.
Balta.
Say it again.
Balta.
That's right. Balta is a junior forward for the Nighthawks, and he enters this week second in the Sac Joaquin section in points with 40 and goals with 17. So is there pressure to be the team's go-to guy for scoring?
No, not really. I just like playing and, just score the goals I have to do.
As good as he is, Balta knows he relies on his teammates.
The midfielders also do their great job, so they just give me the ball and I do what I have to do when I come close to the goal.
Like a lot of athletes, Balta tries to model his game after a famous player.
Lionel Messi, one of the greatest players. Yeah, I just love the way he plays. He's a great player. The Barcelona also looks up to him. So yeah, I would like to be like Lionel Messi.
Soccer runs in the Silva family, and for Balta, it started at an early age thanks to his father.
I was like 5 years old. My whole family plays soccer. My dad loves soccer. He's the one that like gave me the passion to play soccer. So yeah. He's the one that taught me everything I know about soccer.
Natomas head coach Giovanni Villalobos is a former Natomas player himself, and he recognizes that Balta is a unique talent.
He's a kid that he had not just one aspect to his game. He's got plenty of skill. He's got plenty of athleticism. He's a hard worker. He's very smart. You know, there's kids that are fast but aren't as skilled. There's kids that are skilled but not athletic. He's got it all.
Balta is putting up some impressive scoring numbers this season, but he is all about the team and the goal of capturing the school's 4th section title in boys soccer, and its first since 2011, because it would be important to he and his teammates.
We made it to playoffs last year. Unfortunately, we lost in the first round, so it would be a great thing to win sections this year for all of us.
For Coach Gio, as the players call him, he assesses this year's team and why they're playing so well.
Overall, I mean, they just all play very well together. We don't give up many goals. We haven't given up many goals at all. That's a tribute to my back line and my midfield that pressures really well. They just have good chemistry together on and off the field. They're a good group. They're all pretty united.
So back to Silva now, and that nickname in case we forget.
Balta.
Good stuff there, Mr. Finnerty. I like Balta. He's a player to look for. Coming up next, more football. We get to know a football player in the Delta League up in El Dorado Hills and some football previews. Stick around. All right, welcome back to the best of high school sports in Northern California. Strong emphasis right here in Sacramento, brought to you by Save Mart. We're going to talk about Drew Lukowski of Oak Ridge football and what makes him so unique. But first, you got something on store.
I do. We have this week's Von Hausen Stars of the Week. This week's Von Hausen Stars of the Week are Christian Hepner of Christian Brothers and Brooke Hirschberger of Granite Bay. Hepner, a senior forward for the Falcons, continued his scoring ways last week that included 3 goals against Capital Christian as part of a 5-0 win for the Falcons. And then a day later, Hepner scores twice in Christian Brothers' 3-2 win over then #1 ranked Granite Bay. For Hirschberger, she was a big spark in Granite Bay's 2-0 week that included a win over #3 Rocklin. In 2 games, Hirschberger averaged 15.5 kills and 5.5 digs, but more importantly, Granite Bay extended its winning streak to 8 games.
All right, Mike, one of the very best football players in the Sac Joaquin section is up in El Dorado Hills. His name is Drew Lukowski for the Oak Ridge Trojans. We caught up to him.
Drew Lukowski is a senior running back and defensive back for one of the best teams in the area, the Oak Ridge Trojans, and he's an impact player on both sides of the ball. At 5'11", 186 pounds, and a 40 time of 4.64, Lackowski isn't always the tallest, the biggest, or the fastest on the field, but it's his passion for the game and his work ethic that makes him valuable to the Trojans, and he's okay with the underdog role.
I always picture myself as an underdog, I never want to picture myself as that, that big person. Every week I have something to, you have to have that chip on your shoulder, and play like you're an underdog. If you don't play like you're an underdog, then usually results don't happen the way you want.
Playing offense and defense certainly isn't easy, but Lackowski wouldn't have it any other way.
It's very challenging. It's hard. It's not easy, but I love that role. I've always wanted, to have a challenge like that, and I'm all about challenges, and each week is a challenge, and I'm ready to take on that challenge.
Trojans head coach Eric Cavalier loves the work ethic that Lackowski brings to the team.
Drew just brings intensity to our team Monday through Friday. He doesn't take reps off during practice. He just goes hard all the time, full time, 100% right, 100% of the time.
Lackowski's dad, Mark, was a running back and linebacker for Oakmont High School in the mid-'80s and then went on to play for Sacramento State.
I look up to him. Like I said, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be the football player I am today.
Drew and father Mark aren't the only football players in the family. There is Drew's younger brother, Tyler, who is a freshman football player for Oak Ridge, and he looks up to his big brother.
He doesn't just look up to me, he looks up to this whole football team. As he's a freshman playing football. He loves the sport just like I do. But yeah, he looks up not just to me, but this whole football team. So.
Everyone knows the demand of student athletes these days, so when Lukowski steps away from the football field, it's no surprise as to what he's doing, especially when he's seeking a football scholarship.
Studying, the other team, getting ready for that week.
Entering the season, Lukowski knew he would need to take a leadership role for this team and a defense that lost 10 starters from a year ago.
Coming back from last year, being the only starter now, defensive starter coming back this year is it's definitely a leadership take, but it's good. We're young, but on defense-wise, we're looking good, and like I said, we're young, but we're learning and getting better every week.
For Lukowski and the team, there's just one goal this season.
Like I said, we're very young, but ever since we started spring ball, we have that one goal in our minds, that get back to that section title. And that's always been our goal, and that's our goal this year once again.
All right, Mike, that was good stuff to get to know Drew Lukowski, so inspired by his father, Mark Lukowski, who has to admit that the best athlete at the dinner table is Junior.
I have asked him, and he does admit that. All right, Joe, we have got football, as always, coming up this Friday, and we've got games to preview. Let's roll them out. You take the first one.
I think the Delta League has got another terrific one with number 2 Elk Grove Thundering Herd taking on the number 3 Grant Pacers. We saw Grant last week. Grant is big, physical, fast. But you know what? Elk Grove's no pushover with Spencer Sheff, Tyler Vanderwall at quarterback. This is going to be a great game. Last year was 7-3 Elk Grove. I think it's going to be a little bit more high scoring, but it's going to be physical.
Yeah, it's going to be a close game, though. We'll see who comes out on top. They're both undefeated. Now, let's go out to Placer County. We've got Oak Ridge on the road to take on the Rocklin Thunder. I think this is an even matchup. Let's start with Oak Ridge playing well. You've got Ian Book at quarterback, as always. He's the man, the guy we talked to earlier in the show, Drew Lukowski. He's a leading rusher. He's a leading receiver for the Trojans, but Rocklin, they've got a quarterback and they got some talent.
Well, they got a quarterback who does a lot of things. Max O'Rourke. He could throw the deep ball. He could run for first downs. Pretty good kicker as well. Off to a 4-0 start under Coach Greg Benzel. It's the defensive line that's been really strong as well. Stephen Douglas for Oak Ridge is another good-looking running back as well. All right, sticking in Placer County, how about the Folsom Bulldogs, number 1 ranked, off to a fabulous 5-0 start, taking on battle-tested Del Oro. We know you have to get pressure on Jake Browning, the quarterback of Folsom, to have a chance. But for Del Oro, what does Del Oro have to do to keep up offensively?
I think it's going to be the same thing we talked about a couple weeks ago when they played De La Salle. Shorten the game up, run the ball well, and keep Jake Browning off the field. I think that's the way you win. So you can never say never, even though the Bulldogs look tremendous.
Exactly. Trey Udofia is the fastest guy in the field for Del Oro, and then there's the black hole. That's the student rooting section for Del Oro. Loud, proud, be seen, be heard. That can't hurt. And then that'll be fun to see. So the league openers last week, it's getting better now.
All right, Joe, another packed show. We covered girls tennis, volleyball, football. We did everything but baseball, softball, and everything else. But all right, Joe, that's it. Remember, you can catch this show every Tuesday on Comcast Sportsnet California, or set your DVR, as we can sometimes do. It airs at 4:30. Re-airs are on Wednesdays and Thursdays. And if they miss it on TV, where do they go?
SACB.com. We have material all the time, every day, every week on SACB.com, because we understand the value and appreciate high school sports.
That's right. All right, folks, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.